Lord be with you. My name is Pastor Sandra Carlson Alexis, and I serve First English Lutheran Church here in Baltimore. I'm going to be reading the lesson, just so you have the taste of it, for July 9th. I will not be leading worship that day. I hope you are able to worship with Pastor Ed Whetstone, but if you are not, if you need an online worship service, we are encouraging folks to go to Amazing Grace, and the link is in the information. Otherwise, if you'd just like to know what we're doing, I'm going to be sharing with you the prayer of the day and the readings, and also the questions. I should let you know this is the second in a three-part series about the Creed. So last week was the Father, next week is the Spirit. Guess what today is? Yes, it's all about Jesus. We begin with our prayer of the day. Saving God, through Jesus we learn about you. Help us see through the wisdom of the world to the wisdom of God, and trust that Jesus Christ, the Word, came to show us the way to salvation. Amen. There are two readings. The first is from 1 Corinthians chapter 1, beginning at verse 18. For the message about the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. For it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and the discernment of the discerning I will thwart. Where is the one who is wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the debater of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of the world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world did not know God through wisdom, God decided through the foolishness of our proclamation to save those who believe. For Jews demand signs, and Greeks desire wisdom, but we proclaim Christ crucified, a stumbling block to Jews and foolishness to Gentiles. But to those who are the called, both Jews and Greeks, Christ, the power of God and the wisdom of God. For God's foolishness is wiser than human wisdom, and God's weakness is stronger than human strength. The word of the Lord. The second reading is from John chapter 1, beginning at the first verse. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. There was a man sent by God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came into being through him. Yet the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, and his own people did not accept him. But to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God, who was born not of blood, or of the will of the flesh, or of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and lived among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory as of the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him and cried out, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me ranks ahead of me because he was before me. From this fullness we have all received grace upon grace. The law indeed was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known. The word of the Lord. And then there are two questions. The first question, wisdom and foolishness are challenged in the 1 Corinthians lesson. Why is it so important to understand whether it is God's or earthly wisdom? Number two, in the lesson from John, we are reminded that Jesus came to live among us and bring light. What are some of the benefits of knowing that God has come to live a human life and knows what we go through? I wish you blessings, and I will see you for the third of the three sermons on the Creed.